Hello everyone, this is Mark from Around the Clock Games, and I'm doing a basic gameplay tutorial for Virus the card game. First thing you need to do is have the deck shuffled. I've already done that, so now I need to draw 6 cards. Each player needs to draw 6 cards. And for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm going to show you the cards that I'm drawing. So far I have Intravenous, Virulence, Lesions, Tachycardia, Blood Transmission, and Lethargic. With that hand, the first thing I want to do is lay down any transmissions I got. I got one transmission in that draw, which is a Blood Transmission. So from there I can start laying down any vector cards that have a dependency for a Blood Transmission. I was lucky enough to get the Intravenous vector, which I can now stack behind the Blood Transmission. Any cards you place down on the board are considered part of your virus, and any transmission cards are considered a new virus strain. So this is the first virus strain I have, which is a blood virus strain. I could also start laying down mutation cards. I have a Lethargic card, which is a mutation, stage 1. It has a dependency for blood or gastrointestinal transmission, so it's a match here. Now I can start also laying down any stage 2 transmissions that I have. Now I did draw a Virulence card that time also, so I could stack that right here if I wanted, but since it's such a valuable card, I think I'm going to hold on to it. I also drew the Tachycardia and Lesions card. That they are for a different transmission though, so I really won't want to hold on to those. So now at this point I would want to discard all but 1 cards that I have in my hand. I'm going to hold on to the Virulence card, and I'm going to discard these 2. You don't have to hold on to any cards if you don't want to. For example, if you didn't get any transmission cards, I would probably suggest discarding all of your cards. But since Virulence is such a good card to have, I would definitely hold on to it. Maybe even if you didn't get any transmissions. So I'm going to draw until I have 6 more cards in my hand. I already have 1, so I'm going to draw 5. Got an Oral Blisters card, Fever, Vomiting, Gastrointestinal Transmission, and another Virulence card. Again, the first thing I'm going to do is lay down any transmission cards I have. Since it's not a duplicate, it is a different type of virus strain that will be created. I can lay it down. If it was another blood transmission, I wouldn't be able to lay it down since it's a duplicate. But since it's separate, I can play it. And it's important to note that any cards you lay down, they have lethality points. And the goal that you're trying to do is you're trying to reach 100% lethality. So at the end of each turn, you're going to want to add up any points that you have. And as soon as any player gets to 100, the game ends. Whoever has the most points wins. Now that last draw, I did draw a Vomiting card, which is a stage 2 transmission. And it is for a blood or gastrointestinal transmission. I could either lay it down on Lethargic, or if I wanted to, I could also play a Virulence card, and then I'd be able to put it over on the gastrointestinal. And then at that point, what I have left in my hand is another Virulence card, Oral Blisters, and Fever. So at this point I'm going to discard Fever and Oral Blisters. So now I'm going to draw 5 more cards. I have 1 in my hand already, so that will make 6. I drew Gangrene, Dermatitis, Mice, Skin Transmission, and Gastroenteritis. So again, the first thing I want to do is lay down any transmission cards I have. You do have a maximum amount of transmission cards you could play, which is 3. So I'm at my max right now. So next I want to start playing any vector cards or mutation cards. It doesn't really matter what order you play mutation or vector cards because everything's going on simultaneously. And in this video I'm just showing you a demonstration of one person playing, but if there are multiple players, everybody would be laying down their cards at once. So as soon as everybody had 6 cards in their hand, then everybody would be playing cards simultaneously. Next, I'm going to play the mice vector card. It has a dependency where it can be played on any transmission, but if I play it on the skin or vertical virus strain, it's going to give me 5 extra points. So I am going to play it on the skin virus strain. For most of the cards I cover the text, but for this one, since it's going to give me extra points, I'm going to keep that part revealed just so it reminds me it's worth 5 extra points. So if you've been paying attention at all, my lethality is now at 85 points. So I'm going to play another virulence card. And these cards are pretty unique in that they can substitute for either stage 1, 2, 3, or 4 level mutation. And I'm going to play it on my skin transmission. The other thing to note about them is that you can only play 1 per virus strain, so I couldn't play this on the gastrointestinal since it already has a virulence on that virus strain. I could play it on the blood transmission if I wanted to, but at this point I put it on the skin transmission since I have a dermatitis card, so I could use this as my stage 1, and now I have a stage 2 mutation on my skin transmission. At this point, if you count up all my lethality points, I'm now at 100 points. So the game would now end. If any other players had 100 points, we would compare our scores to each other. If anybody had over me, then they'd win, or if I was over them, I would win. But the game is now over, and I have the most lethal virus. I just want to thank everybody for watching. Once again, this is Mark from Around the Clock Games, and this is the game I designed called Virus, the card game. Thanks a lot.